I'm Ives Brower. I also don't have any slides, but I encourage you tomorrow to take a tour of our bus plant, the Utilidor. Um, I work at Barry Utilities Electric Co-op. I've been there about 18 years, but they have been operating for about 35 years. And we operate pretty much three systems for the utilities. There's an underground Utilidor, which we have buried, which was $17,000 a square foot to put in. We have a direct bury system where the pipes are just buried in the ground, which was about $1,700 a square foot. And we also, we don't operate, Borough operates the tanks, which they pick up with a pump truck, which is the other third system that they have in Barrow. But just from the designs, we operate and maintain it. The Borough actually built it, but we kind of have seen what works and what doesn't work. The Utilidor has been great for us. It was by far the most expensive system. It's supposed to have a 100-year lifespan. It's buried from 6 to 22 feet in the permafrost. And it's 7 feet across the bottom, 6 feet tall, 5 feet across the top, trapezoidal shape. And it's shaped like a wedge to keep it buried in the ground, in the permafrost. And that has worked terrific for us. We have very few trouble calls on that. We've had no movement on that. It just was very expensive to put in. And so that is a system that has been a big success for us. The direct bury, which is what most of the villages have and which is most of Barrow also, is just the pipes buried in the ground. We've got shallow buried, which are buried 6 feet. We've got some deeper ones, which are probably buried 14, 15 feet are probably the deepest ones. Those are connected by manholes. Those are what we have the most problem with. We've had the most movement on that, pipes breaking, lots of water leaks on there. And they've tried all different things there. It always seems to break at the manholes. We usually have a sag in the pipe in between the manholes, and then it breaks to the manholes. And that's where we have to do all the repairs. We build offsets and then rebury them. And there has been some that we've dug up 3, 4 times that we just keep having problems at. It just seems to be the area where the permafrost is. The other thing I noticed, or that we've noticed, is Block A is it was a built pad. It's kind of right across from elementary school near the end of the airport. That was insulated and they put gravel down. We have very little movement there with the houses, service barrels, telephone poles. That pad seems to work the best for us anyway, of the areas in Barrow. And anyone that works at Busey tries to live in that area because we have the least amount of problems there. That's been another success. But water leaks and stuff like that are definitely direct bury system. That's where we have the most problems, and that's where we focus most of our trouble reports. Customers in those areas are the ones that call us the most, report that they've got sewer backups or water problems. Utilidor will probably have 10 calls a year on the Utilidor system. And in the wintertime, we get about 400 calls on a direct bury system a month, just to give you an idea what the difference is. So, other infrastructure things we have, we've got service barrels on the sides of the houses. It comes up out of the ground off for the water and sewer. We provide water and sewer in the same service barrel, and that's to keep both from freezing. Keep our water at about 50 degrees. That seems to be our magic number. That keeps the water warm enough that it doesn't freeze in the wintertime, but cool enough that it doesn't melt the permafrost. And we also keep our Utilidor temperature right around 50 degrees. And that just seems to work the best for us. They tried doing warmer temperatures in Utilidor and we had a little bit of movement, so we dropped the temperature down lower. And same thing with the water and sewer lines. That seems to be our magic number. Utilidor is about 3 miles of underground tunnels. The direct bury, I don't have a recent number of how many miles it is, but it's a lot. And we walk that Utilidor every night. And we do have infiltration come in the summertime. Water does get into it through the service connections end because it's just wood, 2x6s bolted together. There's no way to stop the infiltration. So we get a lot of water movement in there in the summertime. Wintertime, it'll be dry all winter. So it works great. Building movement and stuff, like I said, Block A, we've had no movement in any of our customers' homes or any of our structures. That seems to have been the best pre-engineered pad, and that has worked great for us. All around the rest of town, we've got lots of movement. Utility, not only the pipes underground are moving, the service barrels that come up to connect to the house are moving, and the houses themselves are moving. We've got a lot of houses that are settling on one side of them, raising, and the pilings, I don't know, I believe the standard was 8 feet. I think we're going to 10 feet now. But yeah, we've got a lot of movement all over town. And the warmer weather we have, the worse it gets. I know when I first started working at the utilities, or even just when I was up here, we used to dig ice cellars and stuff, and you'd hit permafrost, which started about 2 feet down in the end of summer. Now we're getting 3, 4 feet down is when when you hit permafrost, when you start excavating. So it's definitely thawing a lot more, and so there's a lot more movement. So I'm guessing the deeper you go, probably the better off you are for pilings. Of course, that's really expensive and not everyone can dig pilings for their houses. If they're moving a house from one location to another and they can't dig pilings there, they put blocks on it. Those haven't worked at all. We've got quite a few houses that are also on blocks, and those have got by far the worst movement. They're constantly having to be re-leveled and fixed. And I was gonna say, I traveled to the villages and I used to work on offshore dredge also, making runways and pads, building pads for the houses, Cocktober, Point Lay, Wainwright. We moved a lot of gravel for there. It doesn't seem, if you just put the gravel down, it doesn't seem to work nearly as well as if you insulate and then put the gravel on top of insulation. That seems to make the best pads, and that seems to be where you have the least amount of movement. So I don't know if that's about all I have. Like I said, we'll be doing a tour tomorrow at Bear Utilities if you want to see what the utility looks like. I'm sorry I don't have any slides. It's a little embarrassing for me. I like to take a lot of pictures and I don't have any to bring with me today. So, but usually not of pipes. I usually like taking pictures of animals or something like that. So, but yeah, I encourage you to come and tour the plant tomorrow if you guys would like to, and take a look at that. And if you have any questions, I hopefully could answer them.